So today I'm going to be doing a review on the Lorac Pro 2 palette. This is my first purchase from Lorac, and I decided to pick this palette up opposed to the Lorac Pro 1 because it has a varying range of shades. It's got some colors in it. The navy and the plum, of course, really attracted me, and so did the jade green color down here. And I feel like this is a really good travel palette because it's very slim. When you close it, it's very slim opposed to being very bulky. And it has all your shimmers and all your mattes, and I really like that about it. So I'm going to be putting swatches in when I talk about each color. I purchased this palette at Ulta and it retails for $44 American dollars. I did have to purchase it on my trip to Florida because we don't have Ultas in Canada, so it was a very special thing to go to an Ulta. I was really excited, and I have a little video about my trip to Florida that I'll link in the description, as well as the link to this palette. I'll link the Ulta site. On the top row we have 8 mattes going all the way from buff to black, and then on the bottom row we have again 8 shades, but these are shimmers and they go all the way from snow to cocoa. I'll just read out the names and I will give my description of the color, and while I'm doing that I'll have the swatches. So the first shade in the palette is Buff, and it is a vanilla color with a little bit of warmth to it, and I feel like there's also a little bit of yellow in it. It's very neutral, and it's really good for setting your primer, your eye primer. I love palettes that include a shade like this because I feel like it's an essential for myself. Then we have Light Brown, which is the second shade in the palette, and it's just a warm brown, pretty basic. You can use this with practically any look, obviously if you're doing something on the warmer side. Next we have Cool Gray, which leans very cool, as the name suggests. This would be really good for smoky eyes or if you're doing something with purples. The next shade is Nectar, which is personally my favorite because I love wearing pink eyeshadow, and Nectar is really great for the transition, in your transition area, in your crease. Then we have Plum, which is a really nice plum color. That's why it's kind of funny about this palette, because they named the shades so literally. And then Navy, which I wouldn't say is navy, it's a bit more truer blue than a straight navy. Then we have Charcoal, which is a dark gray, and Black, which is black. So that's the top row. Then on the bottom row we have Snow, which is a white shimmer shade. Then we have Beige, which is like a champagne shimmer shade, and I really like beige. It's really good for the lid. Then we have Rosé, which is a rose gold, and I love rose golds. I think I really do love pink toned colors and rose golds and things like that, so this is perfect for me. And then we have Mocha, which is a really pretty brown. Then we have Chrome, which is a grayish kind of color, but it's almost, I would say Chrome is very taupe, which I really enjoy. And then there's Silver, which is a silver shade, and to me I feel like this one was a little bit more gritty than some of the others, so I'm not really a fan of that, but that's okay because I don't wear silver that often. And then we have Jade, which I was so excited about because it's a really nice forest dark mossy green. And then we have Cocoa, which I actually wore the other day and I'm thinking about doing a look with on my channel here, and it's a really pretty dark brown shimmer shade, and it looks gorgeous on the lid if you're doing a smoky eye. So those are all the shades in the palette, and I hope I gave good descriptions of it. Obviously you can look up tons of swatches online of this palette, but I'm just trying to make it pretty easy for you guys. Now I'm going to compare them to some other palettes that I have here. In terms of how much product you get in this palette, you get 0.32 ounces and 8.8 grams. Now I'm just going to compare it to some other palettes that I own. So this is the Too Faced chocolate bar. This is the original chocolate bar, and in this palette you get 0.42 ounces and 13.3 grams. So you get quite a bit more in the Too Faced one. my Too Faced palette's so beat up, I'm not going to show you in the inside of that. So you do get quite a bit more in the Too Faced one, but this one is a little bit more expensive, I believe, in America. I'm fuzzy on American prices because I'm so used to going to Sephora with my Canadian dollar, so I'm kind of fuzzy about that, but I do believe that this one is more expensive, probably around $10 or so. Then I have a Naked palette with me. I own the Naked 3 palette, and this has, okay, hold on a minute, I'm going to have to do some math here. So the Naked palette has 15.6 grams of product, and the Lorac has 8.8. So that is quite a bit more. That is just under double, right? So, I mean, it's quite a bit less than double, but like you get what I'm saying. The Naked palette, you do get a lot more. But again, the Naked palette is around, I believe, $10 more expensive than the Lorac one, if you're in terms of American dollar. So yes, that is. And then I have my Kat Von D palette, which is similar packaging. This one's a lot thicker, so it's not as good for travel. The Lorac one wins in terms of travel, I think. Yeah. So I will also do the math. So this one has 16.8 grams of product, so this palette wins in terms of how much product it has, and that is again almost double. I would say the Kat Von D formula and the Lorac formula is very similar. I don't own any Kat Von D shimmer shades like in the Monarch palette and stuff. I only own the Shade and Light, which is, again, all matte. But I would say that just from what I like when I've been in Sephora and stuff, they are very comparable. It has a lot of kick up, but then again, it's very pigmented. So there's like buff. Those are the two yellowy colors, buff and the one from the Kat Von D palette. They're pretty pigmented. I don't know if you can see that just because I did use a light color. Let's do black. Let's. Okay, there's the Lorac. The Kat Von D's on my middle finger. Looking it on your finger, the Kat Von D is a lot darker. But then again, the Kat Von D is more expensive. But even then, look at that. Like, I did a full swatch, and look how dark the Kat Von D one is still on my hand. So I do think that the Lorac palette is good. I will do looks with it, but to be honest, it doesn't beat the mattes don't beat my Kat Von D, and I love Urban Decay mattes too. But just because of the uniqueness of this palette, I do think it's worth buying. I do think it's worth buying. I think it's a very solid, good palette that anybody could have in their collection. And if you're just starting out, I do believe that these are really good because they have so many different colors. I don't have the first Lorac palette, so I can't testify to that. Again, I did buy this one because it had more unique shades, and I think that's why I really like it. Maybe I'd be less impressed with the first one because compared to the palettes that I already own, it wouldn't perform as well. But overall, I think that if you're looking to buy it, it is a good investment. They are good colors and everything like that. So I do think it's worth the money. Again, if you live in Canada and you're doing exchange rate, maybe you should look into other palettes first and maybe just really look at swatches and see which one grabs your eye more, because if you can get it at Sephora, it will probably actually end up being cheaper than ordering it in American dollars from the Ulta site. But if it's something that you've been wanting forever, I do recommend it. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.